Okay, guys, so let's start. Now, second option is then that we have unknown capacitance has a parallel resistor. So therefore, we are going to use also a parallel resistance capacitance comparison bridge. In this case, also going to be the same R1 and R2 is going to be a variable resistor, whereas C1 is going to be a pure capacitor. Whereas on the other side we have unknown capacitance, and this unknown capacitance may have a parallel resistance. So to find out the parallel combination and the overall impedance, equivalent impedance, we will go like this. So 1 by Z is going to be 1 by Rp plus 1 over Xc. So there should not be any J. So 1 by Xc, and for Xc we have J omega Cp in denominator, sorry, in numerator, without any denominator. So therefore on the other side we have 1 over Rp. So we take the LCM, and finally the parallel combination of capacitance and resistance gives us equivalent impedance as Rp over 1 plus J omega Rp Cp. Similarly, the same pattern we can follow for the Z1. So therefore, the parallel resistance R1 is going to be divided by 1 plus J omega R1 C1. And from the ratio, we should have V1 R3 equal to Zp multiplied by R2. So from this ratio again we are going to get the real and imaginary components separately, and then we can find out the value of parallel resistance, parallel capacitance. So Z1 into R3 multiplied by Zp R2, and we can put the values of Z1, which is R1 over 1 plus J omega R1 C1. So it is going to multiply by R3. On the other side, we have Rp, R2 divided by 1 plus J omega Rp Cp. So now we simplify it, and we get R1 multiplied by R3, and imaginary component becomes J omega R1, R3, Rp, Cp. On the other side, we have Rp, R2 multiplied by J omega, plus J omega Rp, R2, R1, and C1. So therefore now we can equate the real component, and therefore we can find out the value of Rp. Similarly, we are going to equate the imaginary components and get the value of Cp. So in a real component we get Rp equal to R1 R3 divided by R2. So in our circuit, R1 and R2, these two values are variable. Sorry, R1 and R3, yeah, R1 and R2 is variable, whereas R3 is a fixed value. In imaginary relationship, we will get the j omega cancelled out R1 and Rp also cancelled out because this exists on the both sides. And finally, we just get the remaining component R3 Cp equal to R2 C1. So therefore, Cp is equal to R2 C1 divided by R3. Similarly, C1 and R3, because we have fixed, they are single value, they are not variable components. So therefore, Cp is directly proportional to R2. So if the value of Cp is higher, R2 is going to be high, so that the resistive bridge is going to balance. So now parallel component dissipation factor can be found out by xp divided by rp. So therefore 1 by rp omega cp is the dissipation factor for parallel combination. So now we know the value of rp and we know the value of cp. We can find out the dissipation factor for the other side, and obviously rp in our case is r1 multiplied by r3 divided by r2. So therefore r2 comes on the top in numerator, whereas in denominator we have r1 and r3 into omega. Then Cp gives us the value of R2, C1, R3. So R3 is going to be on top in numerator, and in denominator we will have R2 and C1. So values that can cancel out is R2, R2 and R3, R3 in numerators and denominator. So we end up with only 1 by omega r1 c1, and obviously that is the dissipation factor of z1. And dissipation factor of z1 is reactance 1 divided by r1. So x1 is omega rc, so therefore this is equal to that dissipation factor. ठीक है जी. So any questions regarding this? जी, any questions?
Previous that was
Okay. Previous, yeah. And इस पे है कोई question?
no sir.
Okay. So let's now move forward. So then we can use other bridges like the sharing bridge. In this case, we can use the previous scenario, just like in parallel and parallel RC comparison bridge, but there is few modifications. Instead of R1 parallel, now we have C1 parallel as a variable capacitance, whereas R2 is the same. And then we have C3 as a pure capacitance. C1 is also a pure capacitor, but a variable one. So then we can find out the value of series resistance and capacitance. So now let's look at the series combination. So that is RS plus XC, where XC is going to be the 1 by j omega C, sum up with the RS. Then if we combine these all, then we get the Vs equal to j omega Rs Cs plus 1 divided by V omega Cs. Whereas on the other side, the Z1 is going to be the equivalent parallel components R1 and C1. So therefore, we have to use parallel operation to find out the equivalent Z1 as we did in the previous slide. So we have R1 on the numerator divided by 1 plus j omega R1 C1. Then we take out the ratio, and ratio going to be Z1 multiplied by Zs and R2 multiplied by Z3. So Z1 multiplied by Zs and R2 multiplied by X of C3. So Z1 can also be written as R1 XC1 over R1 plus XC1, and Zs can be written as Rs plus Xs. So instead of taking the j omega c, we have converted it just to simplify form xc. So putting into the formula, we will get Rs multiplied by R1 XC1 plus R1 XC1 multiplied by XS, and on the other side we have R2 XC3. And then we have taken the denominator on the other side, and therefore we will get R2 X3 multiplied by R1 plus XC XC3 multiplied by R2. sorry guys. So just repeating again that we have Z1 as R1 x C1, and this is just going to multiply by RS. So we get first component, then Z1 is going to multiply by the second component, which is XS. So therefore R1 multiplied by XC1 multiplied by XS. And then the denominator of Z1 is multiplied by on the other side. So therefore we get two components. On right side R2 XC3 multiplied by R1, and then R2 XC3 multiplied by XC1. So now we have four components, and in these four components we have first component with one XC1, whereas the second component we have two XC1 and XS. So therefore two imaginary components multiplied by together will give us a real component. So therefore again the real component must equal to real component, and imaginary component must equal to imaginary component. So therefore the second component on the left side is equal to second component on the right side. So therefore we equate it R1 XC1, which is 1 over j omega C1, multiplied by XS, which is 1 over j omega CS. On the right side we have R2 XC1, 1 by j omega C1, and XC2. Let me change it. This is basically XC2. Let's look at the no, it's 3. Okay. So therefore this should be also 3 because there is no C2, right? We don't have any C2, so we have only C3. Yeah. So now we can cancel out the j omegas because they are exist on the both sides. So left side is going to be and also the C1 is cancelled out. So we will get the real component as R1 divided by CS equal to R2 divided by C3. So therefore we can find out the value of CS, R1 by R2 into C3. Similarly, for red line components, this gives us the imaginary components RS R1 divided by j omega C1, and on the right side we have R2 j omega C3 and R1. So R1 is cancelled out and j omega C1, j omega cancelled out, and we end up with RS R2 divided by this is RS is here. So on the other side we have wait a second. We have R1 XC1. So we will left with R1 omega C1. Yeah. So I think there is little bit confusion here. So we have to change that. This is not R1, R2 C1, and R1 is cancelled out. So we have only C3 in the denominator. So now we get the value of RS by multiplying R2 with C1 by C3. Now let's look at C3 is a fixed value and R2 is also R2 is a variable value, whereas C1 is also a variable value. So finding the RS obviously would depend on R2 and C1, whereas in case of CS we have to vary R1. So therefore what we are going to do is we will first fix the value of R2 and C1. Once R2 is fixed, that would only left with variable R1 is R1 is fixed. So and C3 is also fixed. So R1 is fixed, R2 here. So the value of R2 is going to affect the both RS and CS. So we are just going to change the value. First, find out the value of CS by varying R2. First we vary R2 and then we just need to vary C1. So CS is going to be inversely related with R2, which is basically the variable one, and RS is going to directly related with C1. So if we change C1, that would give us the value of RS, and if we change the value of R2, inverse of this gives us the value of CS, or affect the value of CS. So if CS is large, we have to make R2 smaller, and if RS is smaller, then C1 has to be small also. So this is how we get the values of RS and CS using sharing bridge. Next is how we can find out the value of inductance. So to find out the value of inductance, and keeping in mind that assuming that the value of inductance is going to be pure, so there is no parasitic in the inductance. So there is the resistance is negligibly small. So then question comes out, how much smaller value is the considered as negligible value? जी, कोई बता सकता है कि किस वैल्यू के लिए, किस तरह हमें पता चलेगा कि जो इंडक्टर है दैट इज प्योर? Because even for every type of inductor there has to be resistance, smaller resistance over there. Okay, so how we are going to know that inductor is pure or not? Similarly, the same question is relevant to the capacitor. So how we make sure whether the capacitor or inductor, they are pure ones or they have parasitics. Any idea? No idea?
No.
Okay. First, let's look at the impedance of inductance. So inductance impedance is R plus J omega L. Okay. So when this relationship is considered ideal inductor, the value of resistance must be very small as compared to J omega L. Okay. So if this is true, then we have a pure inductor. Similarly, for DC, we have R plus 1 over J omega C. So if R is very small as compared to 1 over J omega C, then obviously we are going to get decide that this resistance is negligible. ठीक है? और इस रिलेशनशिप से हम एक और चीज फाइंड कर सकते हैं, दैट इज दी थीटा. ठीक है? सो एंड दैट फेज एंगल if that phase angle is less than or equal to 90 degree, then you can find out that this is a pure inductor or a pure capacitor. ठीक है? चाहे आपके जो रेजिस्टेंस है वो मिली ओम्स में हो, वो फ्यू ओम्स के अंदर हो, लेकिन अगर ये रिलेशनशिप, ये रेशो बड़ी है, XC is large enough, ठीक है, let's say R is 1 ohm but this is equal to 100 ohms, ठीक है, तो फिर हम इस केस में कह सकते हैं कि एंगल इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी क्लोज टू 90 डिग्री, राइट? ठीक है? सिमिलरली if the resistance is 1 milli ohms and this XC is also in the range of milli ohms but 100 times, so in this case also we can take it as theta close to 90 degree. Similar is true for the inductance as well. ठीक है जी? तो अगर हमें मीटर जो है वो बताता है कि हमारे पास जो इंडक्टेंस है उसकी वैल्यू भी है और जो पैरासिटिक रेजिस्टेंस है उसकी वैल्यू भी है, देन वी हैव टू चेक वेदर द एंगल इज क्लोज टू 90 और नॉट. ठीक है? अगर ये क्लोज टू 90 है देन इट इज प्योर इंडक्टर और प्योर कैपेसिटर. ठीक हो गया? आई थॉट ये आपको पता होगा क्योंकि नेटवर्क एनालिसिस और आई थिंक इलेक्ट्रिक सर्किट्स में तो आप ये चीज़ें पढ़ चुके होते हैं. इवन जो मशीन्स है उसके अंदर भी आप ये चीज़ें पढ़ते होते हैं. खैर, सो इन केस ऑफ प्योर अननोन इंडक्टेंस वी कैन यूज C1 as fixed pure capacitor, then R1 and R2. Which one is the variable? let's see which. Okay. All three are variable. So all three are variable ones. ठीक है, so हम इन तीनों को ट्यून करेंगे to find out the value of unknown inductance. ठीक है, so हमारे पास जो वेरिएबल कंपोनेंट्स हैं वो ऑब्वियसली इस केस में काफी ज्यादा होंगे, so it won't be easy to match the ratios. Okay, so let's now for inductor find out the very similar to that of dissipation factor is a quality factor. And what happens in the quality factor? Let me check. In case of quality factor, it should be high or small. I think quality factor should be large. Yeah, quality factor as high as possible, that would indicate that it is close to pure inductor. Okay, so high quality factor, high Q means it approaches to pure inductor. ठीक है, सो जैसे मैंने आपको अभी प्रीवियस सिनेरियो में कहा कि हम एंगल फाइंड कर सकते हैं, सो सिमिलर टू दैट वी कैन ओनली फाइंड आउट द Q. ठीक है, so just by finding the Q we can also find out that the inductor is pure or not. ठीक है, and how we are going to find the Q quality factor for series RL component? We need X S, that is omega LS divided by RS. In case of parallel combination, we will be using RP divided by XP. So you can see that this relationship is opposite to the dissipation factor. So in dissipation factor we have RP divided by XP divided by RP was the parallel combination of dissipation factor, and it's opposite for the series as well. Okay, so high Q means pure inductor, low dissipation factor means pure capacitor. ठीक हो गया? So similar to the capacitance, if we know the series circuit, we can convert that into the parallel one. So RP is equal to RS multiplied by 1 plus Q square, and for LP we have LS multiplied by 1 plus 1 by Q square. ठीक हो गया? So now let's find out how we are going to get the unknown inductance. जी please.
सर इसमें हमने वेरिएबल कंपाउंड्स क्यों लिए?
Sorry?
सर आपने सारे कंपाउंड्स वेरिएबल किए हुए ना?
जी जी जी.
सर ये क्यों किए?
ये क्यों किए हैं? बिकॉज अगर फिक्स्ड होंगे तो फिर मैच करना ज़रा मुश्किल हो जाएगा। यहाँ पे आपको मैं अभी दिखाता हूँ कि अगर लेट से आपके पास सिर्फ एक कंपोनेंट है, उनमें से वो इन तीनों में से कोई एक भी हो सकता है, ठीक है। तो आपका जो रेशो है, बेसिकली दैट रेशो जो कि आपने मेंटेन करनी है, दैट इज x1 और xc1 divided by r2, ठीक है। एंड ऑन द अदर साइड वी हैव r1 divided by xl। तो ये रेशो आपने जो है वो मेंटेन करनी है। तो अगर आपके पास सिर्फ एक कंपोनेंट होगा, यानी कि अगर आपने सिर्फ xc को वेरी करके करना है और r1 और r2 आपके पास फिक्स्ड हैं, तो फिर थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा मैच करना। ठीक है। तो therefore from here we have xc multiplied by xl equal to r1 and r2। तो अब यहाँ से अगर हम देखें तो 1 by j omega c1 j omega l, so j omega cancel out हो गए, lx is now equal to c1 r1 r2, ठीक है। तो अगर xc की वैल्यू जो है वो कम करते हैं तो r1 की वैल्यू भी कम होगी, ताकि r2 और xl जो है वो बैलेंस हो जाए, ठीक है जी। सो वी हैव टू वेरी ऑल थ्री कंपोनेंट्स to get the value of Lx, and obviously that won't be easy। और दूसरा ये कि अगर प्योर इंडक्टर नहीं है तो obviously फिर ये वाला सर्किट जो है वो फेल हो जाएगा, ठीक है। सो नेक्स्ट इज मैक्सवेल ब्रिज, और ये जो है फिर हम ये नेक्स्ट क्लास में इसको करेंगे। अब हमारे पास रह गया मैक्सवेल ब्रिज, हे ब्रिज, इंडक्टर कंपैरिजन ब्रिज, एंड दैट्स इट, ठीक है। तो ये कुछ टॉपिक्स जो हैं ये फिर हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में इसको डिस्कस करेंगे, ठीक है। और मीनवाइल जो है मैं आपको और असाइनमेंट्स जो इसकी है इंस्ट्रूमेंटेशन की, वो मैं आपको फर्दर और असाइनमेंट्स जो हैं वो अपलोड कर दूंगा, ताकि आप जो प्रीवियस चैप्टर जो हम कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं उनको भी आप उनकी एग्जांपल्स जो है वो आप सॉल्व करेंगे, ठीक है जी। सो एनी क्वेश्चंस?